Today on Treasure Hunting America, we'll travel to Seattle where Mark Jenkins and his teenage daughter hunt for treasure together.
My daughter has been with me since she was born. I'd bundle her up and she'd be sleeping on my back, and it was great. It's kind of been a bonding that we've done throughout our lives.
Then we'll join Digger Bob in the Sierra foothills to hunt for gold.
I think it's the dream that we all had as children of being rich. You know, finding something for nothing. And everyone wants to be a treasure hunter. I'm living it.
And finally, we'll visit with Dan Cantral, who hunts for rare tokens from the 1800s.
I did find a nice token from Part1, Oregon. It was the only one in existence, so that helped bring the history back. No one knew it was out there, now we do. What's in the ground isn't specifically trash. It can be a treasure, and a treasure to anyone who does hit that target and brings it to light.
All coming up on Treasure Hunting America. Hello and welcome to another episode of Treasure Hunting America. I'm your host, Mark Hendricks. For the next half hour, we'll share some amazing stories of everyday treasure hunters across the country. As a young boy, Mark Jenkins started treasure hunting by digging up coins on the playground. Then at 9 years old, he got his first metal detector, and that's when the real fun began.
In 1977, I believe it was, when I first started, I was kind of tired of digging around in the playground and searching for coins and then waiting for 2 weeks and getting them returned from the principal. Somehow or another I saw somebody metal detecting or something somewhere. In 1977, at 9 years old, I got my very first metal detector. It was a White's 5000D. It sure dug a lot of nails for me. And I learned quite young that not to get discouraged of all the trash you get. I can't explain it. I mean, I remember because I was so young, and I could think of all the treasures I was going to find and how rich I was going to make it. Of course, that's every kid's dream. Eventually, you know, I started finding stuff. Basically, the first time I did go out, I did get a 1916 Canadian dime. Then I used to go out quite a bit with my dad, and he would take me to different parks and find lots of wheat pennies and quite a few silver coins back then. It's hard to remember exactly what I found. I searched many places since that time, and each time I get out, it's like a new adventure.
Being that Mark began metal detecting at an early age, he decided to get his daughter involved even from the time she was an infant.
My daughter has been with me since she was born, basically. I used to put her on my back and go out metal detecting down at the beach and at the parks, and she was always with me when I was out metal detecting. And even if it was night, late at night, cold winter, I'd bundle her up and she'd be sleeping on my back, and it was great. And you know, it's kind of been a bonding that we've done throughout our lives. These up here happen to be things that my daughter has won in the past 12 years of her life, basically, because she's been brought up and born into the metal detecting world. And so she gets to enter these different hunts and competitions. She's won several medals and several trophies. Other people should be doing this, I would think, mainly because it's a good history lesson. You learn about everything you find. I mean, you could pick up a nail. If you see it at square, you know it's been there for quite a few years. You get different items, you know, it tells you different things. A bottle cap, a whole bunch of bottle caps. Hey, you know, people had a lot of good times there in that area, and you can still find some good stuff through that. You just got to be patient. Other things you can learn is you can learn about history, about the area, what went on. You can write stories, come up with stories with things like that. This here is one of my favorite, or my most favorite find that I've ever had. Happens to be a cache of badges. I was out with a couple of my friends. We were hunting at a ghost town, probably about 5 minutes into it. I got a good signal and I looked down and I saw something. And so I reached down to pick it up, and it was attached to some cloth of some sort. I thought maybe I'm pulling up a dead person, but it kind of scared me a little bit. And I pulled a little bit harder and I could feel another one. So I just, I realized right there's more than one. And then I couldn't tell exactly what it was, except for I could see that they were badges. And so I rolled them up in a ball and I carried them back to the car. So I went back the next day, actually. They had dropped a tree over the area where I found this. And so I figured, okay, well, they'll probably have it cleared up the next day. And sure enough, I went back the next day and there was 4 feet of dirt missing out of that area. So I think the only day I could have even found this was the day that I did find it.
When we return, Mark Jenkins will take us into Luna Park, where at the turn of the century, the Coney Island of the West stood, and now where treasure lies waiting to be found. Welcome back to Treasure Hunting America. Mark Jenkins hunts all over the Seattle area, but his favorite place is Luna Park, a very historical and beautiful location just in view of the Space Needle.
Okay, right now we're at Luna Park, and this is where one of the biggest sideshow or attractions used to be in Seattle area. Around the 1907 is when it was built. There was a roller coaster and Ferris wheel. In 1907, they actually had an airplane flying thing here, so all the activity was right in this general area. It's kind of a remake of what Coney Island was. There's been over 20 gold coins found out here that I know of. There's been all kinds of tokens, trinkets, you name it, that is turn of the century, you'll find it out here. One of the reasons why I'm starting in this area is because just recently they tore down a bulkhead, and all these rocks haven't been exposed for a long time, and that's usually where you look for coins and stuff. In fact, some of the most valuable things I ever found were right off the corner right down here. One of the things I found out here, which is just kind of interesting, is this.